Hello, this is Gray Hughes. Today's episode is episode number 3, titled Put It Back, experienced by Ada Violet in Palo Alto, California in the 1970s. Now, before we get started on the episode, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my personal paranormal experiences channel, which is listed in the description, and make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell. You can also join the Facebook group called Personal Paranormal, where you tell your story. I create a folder, put the story in there with all the photos and so forth, and then you will call me up, do an interview, and I can put your story out in documentary form, just like this one. This is the 3rd episode. I did one on my own personal experience in the first episode. And then Paul Yoler, someone on Facebook and YouTube, did an episode. And now today's episode is by Ada Violet. And I welcome you to share your own experiences on that Facebook page as well. Now let's get started on this episode right now.
Just as I passed the door, it slammed really hard. The knife was just like right behind my feet. Okay, my story was when I was 12 years old. And that day I went to the library. It's called the Palo Alto Children's Library. And it's a really nice place. It has a children's theater behind it and a secret garden. So I would spend a lot of time there. But at that time, they had, a lot of books, which I was interested in, on the occult that you could check out, even like reincarnation, all kinds of different things. So I checked out this book on the occult, and I can't remember the name of it, just that it had occult in the title, the word occult. So I checked that out and just went back home. I lived right just on the corner on the same street. And I think it was the same day. I must have just put the book aside or maybe read a little bit. But first thing that happened was with the TV. I was watching the TV, and it's like one of those older TVs that has the manual dial. Well, the dial itself started turning around and around really fast. And I would say that was probably for about 30 seconds or so. And also the TV channels were changing while the dial was turning around by itself.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think at that point, I would start calling family members or running out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just watching the TV and you just see the dial start turning really fast.
Yeah, I'm running out of the house at that point. I mean, it's like, or maybe I'd go over and try to see, hey, wait, what's going on? Try to hold on to the knob, and why is it turning? Because, I mean, it's not like those can't turn by themselves.
Okay, and then the second thing that happened that day, which I think was related to the book, was nothing that huge, but I was walking down the hallway, and then I was going into the TV room, family room, and, just as I passed the door, it slammed really hard. And it seemed like it was with, force. And there was nobody there, and also I didn't, feel like there was any winds coming through the windows that day.
So the door shut. There was no suction created inside the house that would have slammed that. Okay.
And then the third thing that happened that day was when I think it was later in the afternoon. I was making a sandwich, and so I just put a knife on the table, and then I walked across the kitchen. I was going to grab something, and then as I was standing there with my back to where I had put the knife, I heard this like clunk behind me, and I looked behind me, and the knife was just like right behind my feet. And also, it didn't feel like it flew across and just sort of like, because if it would have flown across the room, wouldn't it have slid or something like that?
Yeah, so it just kind of clunked.
I don't know. Yeah, it went clunk behind my feet, so just like right behind my feet.
Almost like it was floating in the air, like they were some entity was holding it and then dropped it, like that, right?
Exactly, like it just dropped right behind my feet, like it was kind of like whooshed down. Even though I don't think I heard like a whoosh or anything like that, it was just a clunk. It was at that point I just called my mom and I was saying, this and this happened, and I explained it to her. And she said, and I was sort of saying, I got this book, and I think it might be because of that book. And she was agreeing with me, saying, yeah, you need to take that back immediately. So I took it back to the library. That's all I remember about that. And I just remember that nothing else happened after that.
Wow. I just have one question now. How come after the knob on the TV was going by itself, you didn't call your mom right then? Okay, because that part freaks me out.
Yeah, I sort of have to question myself about that. Why?
Yeah, I was trying to picture how your mind was working. Hey, I'm okay with the knob turning by itself on a television set, but I tell you what, that door slamming really got me. And then the knife. But my God, if I was looking at an old-style television and I saw the knob flipping around, knowing that it takes, a little bit of effort to actually turn those things, and there's no mechanism, they're not automatic whatsoever, that just would have freaked me out.
Yeah, I think I just remember, like, I was sitting in a chair and I just was, like, looking at it, going, like, like, what the hell kind of thing. And sort of like, what is going on? And I think part of me just didn't even sort of realize what was going on, even though I was watching it. Sort of like is this really happening kind of thing, Maybe part of me thought there was some explanation for it or something.
Yeah. Wow.
This happened out of the blue.
Well, thank God your mom had you bring back the book.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what would have happened.
So it makes me wonder if, like, other people, other children, checked that book out if they had the same experience.
Now, wouldn't that be interesting? If somebody actually said, oh my God, I checked out that same book.
Yeah, I mean, sure, the book is there to be checked out, so tons of children in there all the time, and I don't know when the book was published, or I don't remember any of that, but the library itself has been there since 1940.
What made you interested in, like, the occult and stuff like that at that age?
I don't remember any one thing happening that made me interested in that. I can't, there obviously had to be something that started my interest in it, but I really can't remember, just that I know that I think I may have started reading books on reincarnation, that type of thing interested me.
Yeah.
And so, I still have that same interest to this day, although I probably don't get books on the occult or anything like that. But
yeah, what's interesting about that is that, at that time we're just free and open to it. Like now you'd be scared to play the Ouija, with a Ouija board or something. You'd be like a little apprehensive. But in this case, you became apprehensive after something happened. It wasn't like you were already kind of freaking out. Oh, I'm going to get this book, and who knows, there might be some kind of... Yeah. It was like you just sort of put two and two together, basically.
Yeah.
All right, Ada. Well, thank you very much for your story. That was crazy. A turning knob. And a knife.
Yeah, thank you.
And a door. I appreciate it. All right, thanks a lot. Thank you for joining the Personal Paranormal Experiences channel on YouTube. And if you'd like to share your own story, make sure to join the Facebook group Personal Paranormal. Today's episode was by Ada Violet, episode number 3, titled Put It Back. And until next time, everybody, be safe out there.